People play video games with different methods or playstyles, but that doesn't mean we don't share similar experiences. Hello you awesome possums, here are 10 engineer things you can relate to in PlanetSide 2. Just a bit of a disclaimer here, I know you can impossibly relate to everything in this list, but surely you can to a few. Anyway, starting off with number 10, tossing ammo packs to an enemy's face. Okay, I think this is really the most common engineer brain fart. Look, if you tell me you have thousands of hours of playtime and this only happened to you like once or twice, then that's fair and probably true. But if you tell me you have thousands of hours of playtime and this never happened to you, like not even once, then I call BS. Okay, I'm kidding, maybe you're really that good, but this is really a common thing. The most reasonable culprit behind this incident, if you will, is you probably have been playing Heavy Assault for too long, or you actually main a Heavy Assault, and you barely play as an engineer, so even if you do, you most likely do it for the engineer dailies. I don't know, there's just something about this funny and silly mistake. I'm not gonna say it's humiliating because that's a bit of a strong word, but I guess embarrassing would be much more fitting to a small degree. And on number 9 is getting ran over while repairing. We all know the good rule of thumb here when it comes to vehicle repairs. Just avoid repairing behind or in front of a vehicle, stand on its side and do your thing. It's kind of a no-brainer. But from time to time, we kind of forget for some reason. And it's one of those facepalm moments. Now, there are a couple of variations when it comes to engineers getting road killed. For instance, when you run towards a stationary or forward-moving vehicle with enthusiasm and big dick engineer energy, then that vehicle suddenly backs up or moves forward. I mean, come on man, I just want to help here. Another example would be repairing in traffic jams. Well, not actual traffic jams, but you know when there's a ton of vehicles all bunched up in one place? Yeah, so you're doing your thing, repairing, minding your own business, then as soon as you turn around, you get smooshed by a Sunday. Well, yes, you can look around while repairing to avoid this, but let's be honest here. Not everyone does that, especially when you're surrounded by friendlies. Moving on to number 8, the Engineer's Resupply Mission. Okay, this one's for those who don't really play Engineers too often, or maybe for those who play the class only for the 100 daily certs. But anywho, while getting the kills and repairs for this mission is relatively easy, there are times when you just don't get a lot of ticks when resupplying. So sometimes this part of the mission will take, well, some time. I know you're not the only engineer in the field, and considering there are lots of ammo packs in fights everywhere, it's basically a resupply competition. However, as a small tip, and just in case you don't know this yet, upgrading your ammo pack will increase its pickup range. So I recommend upgrading this to at least level 2 or 3, and I promise you, this will significantly make things faster. Now, you might think, Possum, you want me to spend 300 certs so I can get 100 certs? Well yes, that is exactly what I'm saying. Think of this as an investment. Now there's one more thing you can do if you don't want to spend your hard-earned certs on ammo pack upgrades. Just shoot your fellow engineer's ammo pack. Easy. It's one less ammo pack to compete with, but you might ask yourself, isn't this a dick move? Oh absolutely, it is a dick move. And number 7 is when your repairs just don't seem to cut it. As an engineer, it's pretty common to see the vehicle you're repairing bite the dust despite your best efforts. And oftentimes, these are clutch moments that could make or break the fight. Well, nowadays, mostly just break the fight, especially when you're outgunned. But during these clutch repair moments, you know, when the health meter goes up, it goes down, it goes up, it goes down, there's just something deep within you hoping the gods of engineers would bless you with more repair powers, and there's this subtle cheer at the back of your head that probably goes like,
"Must go faster, must go faster, go, 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 go."
But a wise man once said, you tried so hard and got so far, but in the end, it doesn't even matter. Yes, I'm quoting Linkin Park now. On a quick and serious side note here for the occasional engineers, if you're thinking of using nano repair grenades with your normal repairs to speed things up a bit, sorry to say, they do not stack. And on number 6 are the undeployed deployables. Okay, that sounds a bit weird, but hear me out. To name a few, auto turrets and hard light barriers are a couple of deployables available to engineers. And these could be really useful in holding capture points or blocking doors and so on. But sometimes, just when you thought you've placed your turret or barrier, the second you look back, it's not there. In most cases, this could be a result of latency, or maybe you're just too quick for the animation to fully play out. But regardless, this really isn't a big deal. If anything, this is more of a head scratcher because you have to walk back and place it again. And come to think of it, this applies to non-engineer deployables as well. And number 5 is when someone else takes your gunner's seat.
Excuse me, I've got a thing. Hey!
Yeah, something like that, but in PlanetSide 2. This one in particular is for MBTs and maybe some solo players. When an MBT is low on health and the auto repair system isn't going fast enough, normally an engineer driver would take cover and step out for repairs. And you don't have to worry about someone taking a ride. But this is not the case for the gunner, especially an engineer gunner. Of course, you have to step out and help with repairs because it's the right thing to do. It's just a bummer when you're on a roll on that gunner seat and someone else hops in the moment you step out for repairs. Not gonna lie, that kind of feels like you were cheated on. And moving on to number 4, disarming C4s or anti-vehicle mines. Let me guess, you've only done this a handful of times in the game, right? I thought so. Once again, in case you don't know this, you can disarm C4s or anti-vehicle mines with your repair tool. But as much as you want to do your engineer/bomb squad duty, you just can't. And there are 3 reasons why. Reason number 1, C4s don't stay on the ground for too long. Either they detonate in a few seconds or someone else shoots it. Reason number 2, anti-vehicle mines are too far and by the time you get to it, a vehicle had already driven over it. Or, you guessed it, someone else shoots it. And reason number 3, you switch to a different class, then see a guy disarm one in front of you, and now you hate him because it's hard to record clips of disarming bombs. Now, I know what you're thinking. Why would you want to disarm C4s or mines when you can simply shoot him? Well, disarming gives you more XP. Plus, your friends get to keep their limbs. But you know who else will get to keep his limbs? Me, if you hit that like and subscribe button if you're enjoying the content. That would really mean so much to me and my limbs. Yeah. And on number 3, repairing terminals after taking a base. To some people, it is common practice to drop core team bombs a few seconds before losing a facility. I mean, why wouldn't you? It's an easy way to rack up a couple of kills with minimal effort. And to this day, a lot of people still fall for the same old tactic. It's crazy. But anyway, that's not what I want to talk about. I'm talking about the bombs taking out the terminals and there are no engineers around to repair them but you. And for a brief moment, you hold all the power. Now all those people who came in with the intent of restocking or changing classes, just stand there and reflect on redeploying instead. Unless of course you repair that terminal. Sure, it's very likely an engineer is among the guys that came in, especially in big fights, but in smaller fights there's always a chance that only a handful of engineers are around. And when that happens, you either repair the terminal immediately or tease people. Moving on to number 2, the repair chasedown. I've said it a couple of times in this video already, but engineers gotta do what they gotta do. They can't just stand idly by and watch the world burn.
The order is given. We march at first light.
Okay, maybe sometimes, but the point is, engineers have to do their part even if the vehicle they're trying to repair is making a run for it. It just makes you want to yell, "Get back here, you son of a..." But understandably, the driver needs to get to safety so he can see his wife and kids and probably his mailman, but still, how dare he make us use our legs? Finally at number 1, sticky grenades. Sticky grenades are quite fun to use, especially in those ridiculous narrow hallway fights. But sometimes it's not so fun for you or your teammates. You can't just toss them around when there's a bunch of friendlies in front of you. You have to be careful and at the very least anticipate their movements a bit, so you need to strafe left and right. But you end up over-anticipating, resulting to a sticky grenade stuck on their nape. And when this happens, there's just one word to describe this.
Oops.
And that's all for today. If you enjoyed the video, please give it a like or drop a comment and do consider subscribing if you haven't yet. Thank you for watching and as always, stay awesome, Possum.